We created magic because what do you call the world? W-O-R-L-D, world. I'm not going to do any of the letter magic this time, but I just want to say how it is. You got the word world. The word world. Okay? And it echoed out in time to play as a world that was made up of letters and symbols and stuff out of animals and dogs. You ever see Word World? Remember that one? With the dog that was like, it said dog, and he was just a D-O-G on, and a big dog. Like, I don't want to get into telling people that I remember creating that idea in someone's head, but I do. Like, of course. So anyway, the word, comma, world, also can be pronounced like world when you go for a whirl, around in a spin. So why do you think that we're so magical that we can have a world that rotates? Huh? I don't know. You're just saying stuff that makes sense, but I don't like it that it makes sense because it scares me that you're that magical. Yeah, I'm light magic. I'm light magic. 100% pure, complete light magic, because I'm telling you the exact truth. Other people have been lying to you, and they tell you black magic. Everybody talks about knowing your dark side, and they have no clue. They're trying to help people, but they're helping people by putting weird posts of like dark evil creatures in closets looking out with their eyes and thinking of all this stuff. Yes, that's there, but that's in your head. There's no dark evil creatures trying to get you except for other people fucked up and other animals that are scared from the way we've treated them. And they're also developing. We've got to work with them on that too, but I'm not going to go into the animals, and I'll tell you how we do that on a different talk. But the word world and the word world, and both words world. One is a world that we live in, made out of war, literally described, means we're battling with ourselves ongoing, and the word where you whirl around in a circle, world. Why do you think the world spins? There you go. But then white magic is good stuff that people know what the hell they're doing, and they care, and they use love, and they use real magic. When people say their dark side or their shadow side, that just means the saying, I know you've heard the saying that you're in the dark or a blackout, something like that. Well, when you're lacking something and you think, and you don't know that words are things that you spell. Words are completely magic. You spell words. And you may not always write them on a piece of paper, but when you say them, you're casting a spell. Because you're saying it without spelling it on paper. You're not writing the word. You're saying the word. The word is coming out of your mouth, and you're casting a spell, whether you write it down or whether you say it out loud with true intention. And when it's true intention, no one can do anything. But if you don't want to harm anybody, they won't be harmed. If you want to heal people, they can be healed by your word, by boom, but they have to let it in. That's all they have to do. And they, like some people, since they're really distant, they're afraid to ask for something like that because it makes them feel like a child. And you're not a child. You're just the blessed master who has no idea how powerful you are. None of you. And people say, you have no idea how powerful you are. You are the infinite being. And you know how you shine. And that's great that they say that kind of stuff because that's echoing through time. I put it there. So, and then when people say stuff like your dark side and your shadow side and all this kind of stuff, guess what? It's when you have repression and you don't feel good about stuff and you whatever. No, that just means all the repression and all the stuff you don't feel good about are things that you think are real and that are still here now when you're here now without those things. And if they're here now coming up when you have to return to them, take them away slowly but surely. So then from that point, black magic comes from when you are a being of lack. You don't have the true knowledge, or you think you have the true knowledge and it's negative, violent, or dark on purpose. A warlock, someone who knows they're doing bad on purpose. They have war on lock. It's just a wizard who's dark. And most of the time they think they're right, but then they're really dark. And they are right because they're saying the right words and knowing it's a spell or a curse. At that point, it's curse. We shouldn't write cursive because it's actually messing up the shape of the letters. Stop writing cursive. There's no reason to. So then, but they wanted to do that to give it individuality. And was it separation of oneness? Cursive, cursing the word. God said, do not curse. And God, don't worry about, I'm not going to get into God. Anyway, so then people don't really understand that they don't mean the word fuck. They don't mean the word dick. They don't mean whatever. If you're using it in context. If you're doing it to be rude, you're cursing in that way by saying things rudely. Black magic. But people would say, that's not black magic. I'm like, well, words are something you spell. Words are something you say. And when you spit what you say and you mean it with true intention, it's magic. And guess what? When you spit what you say and you think you mean it and it's wrong, or you're totally naive and have no clue what's going on, and you're a being of lack, it's called black magic. That's what black magic is. And when you're lost in the dark, you might as well call it dark magic. And when you know you're living in the generate here thing, or in God's in between here. And think what an H and a T together are. It's two lines with a line in the center, and it's one line in the center like an X, but stood on its top and bottom. So it's filling the H. Not only does the H have one line in it, it's got another two lines on it. It's got another line tracing right over that H's center, and it's got another line going down. Boom, you're right there. So it's like God, psh, here and there together. There is no here and there. And that, people may not get that, but it doesn't matter if they don't get it, because when they die, guess what? You guys are so lucky. This is better than the best prize you could win on Wheel of Fortune or Price is Right. Woo, I can go on a trip to somewhere where I'm going to take myself and still be an asshole if I'm an asshole, but think it's okay for a few days. Woo! I need to get away from my life. Well, you can't, because you take your life with you, you dummy. Anyway, so this is actually something that I did in an astral field, and if before you die you hear this and you remember it, because you'll remember it on that day, that all you have to do is say, let me know what Dan Alexander was trying to tell me. Please show me what Daniel Jared Alexander was trying to tell me. You don't have to say it like that. You don't have to sound wimpy or scared. Just be like, I want to listen to that thing, because you don't even have to say it out loud. It'll go into your mind and you can contemplate on it. So you don't have to look nervous or scared. And you don't even call me Dan Alexander. Just listen to the truth. Look for the truth. And it's there. It's there. And there's a lot of videos. I have over 1,500 already saved. So when I put them out, listen to them at your leisure, find one that you really like, and listen to it as often as you can, and realize how powerful you are. I'm not talking about me being the only one powerful. I'm just the immortal who went through all the lives. Not just a couple lives here and there, and I lived through lives and just did whatever, like the Highlander or something silly like that. Highlander ends with Ander too, and there's a reason for that. Alexander. But you guys people don't want to hear that shit. Like even the Highlander and the Immortals and all that stuff led me to be what I am through time, to unlock it in a non-time space and live it all the way from Dan's birth till it's even going to go farther than here. I know where my future goes, and my future goes where I direct the world. But when I say that, I'm not making anybody do anything. I'm just telling people the truth and letting them do themselves, because what would anybody want to do if they really had the power of God on their side? They would want to do it on their own. That's the funny thing. If you really met God, you know what you'd do? You'd say, Father, leave me alone. Let me do it on my own. That's what people would do. And isn't that weird? If your father really knew what was best, and I'm not talking Dan Alexander, I'm talking the person who's been farther than you ever have thought anybody has been. Read more books and read more colorful stories that you could explain with cool hieroglyphics and techniques and special effects. I don't want to fucking fascinate anybody like that, because all that would do is make me a spectacle, and it would make me somebody who draws you in. But guess what? The truth is more of a spectacle than some cool sparklers and fireworks, and nothing wrong with that stuff, but you're destroying the world, and you don't care because it's fun to you. It's not fun to me. And when you die, I get to live your life because I saw it. And now Dan gets everything installed. It's fucking weird. It's very weird, and nobody understands how hard that is on a person. Nobody has ever known, and nobody can tell me they have. They can tell me they remember a bad past life. I remember every past life, and everybody's had a bad past life because they go good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. But at the same time, there's generally good ones and generally bad ones. But after you know what happened, they're all good lives. It's one good life. One good life. That's all it is. Over and over and over. And you can make it better for your children. You can make it better for you next time. You are your next child, most likely. It's just the craziest thing. You'll be your child's child. It's the craziest stuff. We go back around in circles. And people say, well, we get to do this over and over and over. And nobody really gets the concept of that. We talk about the chakra being a circle. We talk about, the yin and the yang being a circle with the dots. And then we say black and white. That's the bottom of the spectrum and the top of the spectrum. It's not just male and feminine energy. It's white and dark. It's light and matter. And not just. And nobody ever said that, even about the yin yang. Because I made it. And that's what's fucked up, is nobody takes me seriously. And how would you like to be able to tell everybody everything about everything and have them be like, you don't know nothing? But I'm like, you're not listening to me at all. You just don't want, I don't sit around and do this. I meditate and I close my eyes and I don't think about anything. And I say, God, tell me the truth. Let me know the truth. And sometimes I say divine being. Sometimes it's in my head. I don't have to say it out loud. Nobody's there. Nobody's ever there. I mean, I love everybody so much. They're their name, so I can address them as what their God forms is now. But at the same time, nobody's there but God. Nobody's there but Ishwara. No one's there but the magic, universal, blessed spirit that we all have. But everyone wants to play their character that went through a certain school in a certain location and then listen to their family tell them stories. And maybe even their religions even messed their minds up more and gave them more shit to mess up. So then they watch more stuff on TV and have more shit to mess it up. So the only things I really wanted to make sure I said is the word world and the word world. And that's why. But then on top of that, there was something that I was going to say after that. World. Well, it doesn't matter which one. It's all there. I mean, I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove, but just people to love. Remove the PR and just put an L there. I'm not trying to be the people representative. I'm trying to be the light. I'm not trying to prove. I'm loving. I'm love. That's what it fucking means, if you like it or not. When I say fucking, I mean force unanimous. Not just conceptual, but kinetic. In nature. Boom. That's what it means when someone says, even the word fucking. It's a divine word when you use it rightly, when you speak it the right way. It's mathematic. I cast spells, and I'm trying to cast spells on you, light magic, and all you have to do is receive it. And me and Xavier are going to hang out and chill because he's got school to start tomorrow, and I love my man, Earth Son, and I don't mean to degrade it. You know it's not degrading. It's the most magical thing. It's so magical. We're so magical. And like, if you could look me in my eyes and tell me that I'm not being serious and feel my heart, I'm afraid to look people in the eyes too much. If I look you in the eyes too much, like, you cry. Not always, because then if I would lose this track of the subject, and I'd love you, because dude, I love you. When I lock eyes with somebody, I fall in love with them.
Well, usually when me and you lock eyes for a long time, it's when we're talking about something serious.
Yeah.
Besides that,
and I like looking at you when you talk.
I usually dead stare at people. Always.
It helps you concentrate.
I feel really bad when I do, because I know a lot of people look away like that.
Your name is Xavier. You're centered on something. If you want to concentrate on it, you center yourself on it. But a lot of times, that's why when I'm talking to you and I know you're on your phone, you're more centered on your phone, but you're still trying to hear me. Like, you have to learn to multitask too, and you know how to multitask. But when you do something, you center yourself on it, and you did it. But then you got to the point where you stopped living confidence in yourself because nobody gave you any encouragement and said, good job. They may have only pointed out what you didn't do and never said, you're good at this and it's really cool that you do this. I like seeing this in you. And I tried to do that, but once a week ain't enough.
I was too loud. I was too quiet. It was too much. It was not enough. I was lazy. I wasn't around enough because I was out with my friends too much. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do?
And all that is people looking at things to point out they don't like about you because there's something in themselves that has to feel bad and has to feel hate because they don't know what they're here to solve. And I can tell every person actually what their personal spiritual journey is supposed to be. I'm not going to tell you how, but just come to me, sit down, tell me your birthday and your name, and I'll just do a math problem real quick for you and tell you. And you'll be like, that's always what I wanted to do, but I never thought I could. And I could answer that for anybody. But they have to believe in me. And I'm not advertising myself because that's not my point either. I don't want to make people personally happy. I want to bring the light to the world. And I am. Whether I say I want to or not, I am. And so it is. Amen. And I'm going to go hang out with my Earthman, Xavier, my best friend, my son, my third power of the word. Bam! Till next time. Peace. I love it when you say it. Say it one more time.